So, what are some boundaries that you can set after betrayal trauma? Hi, my name is Eileen, and I'm here just sharing my story of betrayal trauma. I chose to stay and do the work with my husband, and we're 3 years out and we're doing very well. So, when you are going through betrayal trauma, I think it's really, really important in the beginning to set boundaries, because if you just let them come back and nothing changes, then more than likely there's going to be a relapse. So here are some boundaries that I set that were very firm and very solid, and we actually went over something like this with a therapist. I designed this graphic because I'm very visual and I needed to see something as I was writing it all out. So you start with yellow. Yellow is going to be the areas that you proceed in caution with, and these are opportunities for your partner to rebuild and repair trust. So, a lot of people, as they're rebuilding trust with a partner, more than likely a lot of people don't want to be intimate. Some people do. So if you are trying to rebuild intimacy, whether that's touching or dating or having conversations, these would be the areas that you would build out boundaries with, so that your partner understands very, very clearly what they need to do in order to repair things with you. And this may look very black and white to a lot of people, but it's actually not. Everybody's different. Every relationship's different. Everybody has different circumstances, and there's actually a lot of different kinds of affairs and different stages of affairs. There can be physical, emotional, there can be porn addiction, and that's betrayal trauma. There can be talking to other women or men, that's betrayal trauma, especially if there's lying, dishonesty, that can be betrayal trauma. So one of the boundaries that you can make is, in the yellow section, is I want to know everything, every single detail. And if I find out that you have been dishonest and withholding any type of information, we will have a problem. This is an opportunity for you as my partner to rebuild trust with me. I need complete and utter honesty if we're going to move forward and give this a second chance. So, a lot of times men are like, I can't do that because they're so scared of losing you again. And honestly, a lot of them are in denial. So this is where a lot of inner work comes in with working through a therapist, especially for them, and giving you the tools so that you can handle that. It's going to be like word vomit. It's going to be intense. So working with a therapist for both of you, I think, is really important to work through those very, very difficult and, quite honestly, traumatic conversations. Some other things, maybe I want you to break it off with the affair partner. I need proof of that, and I want to know if the affair partner reaches out to you at any given moment. Affair partner should be blocked on your phone. This can look like getting a device on your phone to help filter out porn. You can also get other apps that alert your phone if they are looking at it. One of the things that I said, because I was in a very traumatized state, is I asked my partner if he would come to bed with me every night. If he went out to the store, to a movie, to whatever in the past that he had gone out by himself, that he either brought one of our children or he went with one of my siblings that he was friends with. So if he went to the movies, he took my brother with him, or I went with him. I wanted him to always have an accountability partner if he went out in public. And he's actually remained really faithful to that. So these are opportunities for your partner to rebuild trust with you. So gray areas are going to be, if you cross this line, we're going to have a problem and we're going to have to work it out in therapy. And it's like getting closer to the red line, because if they cross the red line, that's it, game over. So gray areas may look like, another area might be if they relapse into porn. Now, this was really hard for me to put here because I really wanted to put it in the red section. But the reality is that the addiction is so deep, especially if they've been in this since the age of 8, or sometimes even as early as 6 years old, they've been introduced to this. And it is the equivalent of a drug addiction. If not heavier, because the brain is so addicted to the dopamine release that they're getting from looking at this. And so for them they're gonna have withdrawals essentially. So the reality of them having a relapse, maybe a few times in a year, you definitely don't want them to relapse, but that is a definite possibility. And so if you don't want the relationship to truly end, you need to give flexibility in this gray area for, can we work this out in therapy? What can we do? We're going to have a serious conversation. We're going to go before the elders of our church. You're going to attend SA meetings. We're going to do intensive therapy and go on a retreat. Whatever it looks like to you, this could be something in a gray area. Gray areas could also look like I am triggered by something that maybe I didn't communicate in the yellow, and then let's have a conversation about it. So I know that like during my healing and therapy, there were things that came up that actually had to nothing to do actually with the betrayal trauma, but just our love languages, our communication, the way that we were communicating with each other. And so gray areas gave me flexibility to be able to say like, I'm not really okay with this, and if this continues, I think it's going to move to a red zone. So one of those things with working on and rebuilding intimacy was that my husband, I wanted him to date me again, and I didn't want to have to beg, borrow, and plead to go on a date. So if I felt like he was like withdrawing and becoming avoidant again and not taking me on dates, then we were going to have a conversation with that in therapy. Another thing could be that I don't feel safe around you. You're making me feel unsafe consistently, and if you continue to make me feel unsafe, like I can't trust you, you're being dishonest consistently, we're going to have a problem. We're going to have to go work that out in therapy. So let me know if you have questions about the gray area. I'm briefly skimming that. Again, that's going to look different to everybody. I'm just kind of giving you some examples there. Now, the red zone, this is going to be, you've crossed this line, game over. The relationship is finished. So, with giving them a second chance, shame on you if you fool me once, shame on me if you fool me twice, kind of a thing. So when you say game over, you have to be able to commit that you are going to pack your bags, walk out, and get a divorce, because that is the end. No more second chances with this red line. So a red thing might be they've had another affair. Another one might be that they're hiding the corn addiction from you, and they've been looking at it consistently, and you catch them red-handed, and they've been lying to you the whole time. Another thing might be that you find out that they're secretly talking to the affair partners and continuing that relationship. So these can look like different things where, some people might say, well, gosh, you married the person, like I would divorce them right here and there. Like, you crossed the line with me in the beginning, we're done. And that's fine. Everybody is different. Everybody has different stages in their relationship where they're willing to flex, they're willing to be cautious and rebuild intimacy, and where it's like game over. So again, this is going to look different to everyone. But the reality is that a lot of women, when they come to this point of having betrayal trauma and affair, it's not so cut and dry as just ending the relationship right there. For a lot of women, I'm not going to say for everyone, but for a lot of women, it's just not that simple. And so if you decide to stay, I think that this graphic, this tool is really, really effective and helpful. And it makes it very clear to them, because especially if you have somebody that's like, oh my gosh, like I feel like I'm walking on glass with you and I don't really know what to do. And, a lot of times too with men who are recovering from corn or SA, is that it's hard to explain this. I did a graphic on this recently. You can go back and look at my content. But a lot of times they're not able to think about mistakes and the consequences of those actions, because that part of their brain has been damaged. So that is going to take them a lot of therapy to reset their brain and essentially learn that skill. It is never going to probably be a natural skill. It's going to have to be a skill that they learn. So let me know if you found this helpful. If I hit 1,000 followers, which gosh, by the way, ladies, and there's a lot of men following me too. Thank you so much. I'm just amazed by the outreach and the impact that this is having on other people. So we're really close to 1,000 followers. And once I hit that, I can put a link. And once I have a link, I can add PDFs like this for you all to download for free.